Alright, so I'm going to do a quick little blitz review, right Grayson, of multiplying and dividing. So, with multiplying and dividing, what we talked about with rational expressions and multiplying and dividing is you want to take and you want to factor out the tops and the bottoms of all the fractions and see if things will cancel out. You don't want to actually multiply all the way across the top and all the way across the bottom on these, because that would be quite a bit of distributing and collecting like terms, and then you'd still have to figure out how to factor and see if anything cancels out, because you need to simplify. So what we do essentially is we put the simplify step first. So on this one, we'll start with the easy one over here. X squared minus 6x plus 9 splits up into x and x, minus and minus because it's a positive 9, but there's a negative 6 in the middle. And 3 times 3 will give me the 9 and the 6 in the middle. Then we have this one over here, 4x squared minus 1. Notice that's a perfect square, and this is a perfect square, so it's going to be 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1, because it's a difference of two perfect squares. Now if you look at the two on the bottom, they're basically the same. They both have a 2x squared and a minus 3, but the middle term in both of them have changed from negative to positive. So that means these are going to be factored essentially the same, except for the positive and the negative will be switched. So on the first one you have 2x and x, because that gives me 2x squared. 2 times 1 is 2. Then you've got plus and minus. On this one I'm going to put my plus here and my minus here because it gives me the negative 3. But also because whatever I put here will be multiplied by 2. It'll be twice as large. So, what are the factors of 3? 1 and 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 1 times x is 1. That's negative 5 when you add them together. So this one's going to be exactly the same, except switching my negative sign and my positive sign, because I want to get a 2 times 3 is positive 6. And a negative 1, which is 5. So our next step is to simplify by canceling out anything that we can cancel out. Meaning the 2x plus 1 factor and the 2x plus 1 factor cancels out. 2x minus 1 and 2x minus 1 cancels out. X minus 3 and x minus 3 cancels out. But now what I have left over is x minus 3 on top and x plus 3 on the bottom. That is simplifying, but also it takes care of what would happen if I multiply these together and then canceled out. With dividing, it's essentially the same thing. The only difference is you're going to take it and I'm going to factor it as I go. And after you factor it, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal of this guy. So you're going to flip it upside down into 4b plus 20 over 2b plus 10 and change it to multiplication. So nothing else about this problem changes. You still factor it and then see if you can cancel anything out. Notice on the bottom of this one, I put b plus 5 and b plus 5 instead of b plus 5 squared. B squared minus 25 factors into b plus 5 and b minus 5. On this one, remember I'm flipping it, so it's going to be the reciprocal. I can divide a 4 out of the top and get b plus 5, and then I can divide a 2 out of the bottom and get b plus 5. So then, b plus 5 cancels with b plus 5. b plus 5 cancels with b plus 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So essentially this cancels to just 2 on the top. So now I have 2 times b minus 5 on the top, and then b plus 5 on the bottom. That is simplified, but that is also divided. If you were to divide these ugly fractions, this is what you would get.